I always like to start out with a couple of quick questions. So, did you know that there's a $17 trillion industry of what's called non-cash trading? And I know a lot of people stand up here and say, oh, we've got a massive industry. This is $17 trillion of an existing industry where companies trade goods and service in a non-cash manner. So what that means is companies like Caterpillar will trade for coal. IBM will trade computers for cars. Media companies trade media assets. Hotels trade for toilet paper. It's this massive existing fragmented industry, and the average transaction is over $1 million. So this is an enterprise level deal. And the way it works currently is a company like Caterpillar has excess inventory, and they'll look around and they've got 400 or 500 trade partners. And they'll make a call and say, hey, I've got Caterpillar equipment, do you need it? And they'll call a coal company and they'll do a $40 million transaction. Goods for services, it's an equal. It's called corporate barter, offsets, global trade. It's got a bunch of different names. But it's manually done. It's phone calls, it's fax, it's email, it's one-to-one. It's very cumbersome. And you might ask yourself, well, if it's so difficult, why would a company do it? Why don't they just sell for cash? Well, there's a lot of reasons. One, financial leverage. If you've got $1 million worth of cars left on your lot, rather than discounting them at 20% and then selling them and paying taxes, you can call a computer company and trade at full retail. And in the IRS, it falls under a 1099-B. It's a tax-free transaction. So think about that for a moment. You've got a global company trading full retail in a tax-free environment in an off-book situation. Massive opportunity, but it's also massive financial leverage for these corporations. So this is an existing activity. What we've done is just sort of amplified and automated the system. Rather than doing a one-to-one trade, we created a system called MonetaPro, which stands for Moneta, the very first form of portable currency ever. Once civilizations moved past barter, trading chickens for milk, the Moneta seashells were the first forms of portable currency. So the name has actually taken us back to the generation of currency. What we built is a system called MonetaPro where companies do a sale and what they get back is a credit we created called a G-Buck. It's just an acronym. It stands for a General Business Usage Credit. But now instead of having to negotiate one-to-one, you can sell your assets, receive this internal trade credit, and use that credit to buy assets from somebody else within the network. So companies no longer have to negotiate. Caterpillar can sell equipment, get back credits, use those credits to buy tires, fuel, shoppings, all kinds of different assets. So these companies already trade in the networks. We're just providing an automated solution. So MonetaPro at the top solves automation. That is a big component. And we get asked all the time, oh, are you a blockchain company? Are you a blockchain? We're using blockchain in a very efficient, light touch way. Two of the big problems for the companies are ownership and audit. If a company transfers $1 million of cars, that's an off-book transaction. It does not show up in their normal accounting system. So if they get audited, they have to prove, the CFO has to prove, hey, I gave that guy $1 million worth of cars and here's the cars I gave him. So we're using a private blockchain to simply write ownership and audit to allow the companies to now have a compliance trail on the activities they're already doing. So we are integrating blockchain, but in a very, very, very lightweight manner. And so for us, the systems are actually complete. We spent about $6 million building a multi-party trade platform, active lifeline of corporations, a long list. I actually tried to do this. I get asked a lot, how long have you been in crypto? How long have you been in this space? We tried to build this. We actually built the system. We tried to launch this in 2000 as a global currency, and nobody understood it. So the G-Buck used to stand for a global business usage currency. So we've looked at this space for many years. The blockchain has just helped sort of accelerate and enable the opportunity for these large corporations. And so what we did is we went back and put together a management team, very specific industry. I've done 11 companies. I've taken a couple public, but technology, 25 years, oh, we're over here, 25 years experience out of Israel. Some of our sales guys, one of our top sales guys is coming in who built the American Express sales force. And you may not know, American Express was first launched as a cash flow tool for CFOs to save money. So we built the team around enterprise people who have actually been there, done that. And then at the advisor level, I know everybody likes to say, hey, we've got great advisors. Ours are industry specific. So we brought in a guy named Roger Van Scoy, ran First Data Global Card Operations. Steve Mott ran MasterCard New Technologies. Michael Turpin, some of you guys know, helping us on the PR side. Richard Titus, who's actually here in the group as well. Those of you that know Richard, Richard's doing an amazing job in the blockchain space. Our interest in Richard, I've known him 15 or 16 years. Richard was the CEO of Razorfish and also Daily Mail. So the media conglomerates do a massive amount of trading of media assets. John Sutton, who's actually here in the room, global food expert. So we looked at industry-specific people. Jeff Hazlett, the former CMO of Kodak. Have you guys heard the Kodak coin? John Hall's a friend of mine. He's actually one of our contributors. He's bringing Kodak in. Steve Beauregard. So we actually have a great advisory team, but they were very specific in the way they selected. And then Greg Morrow on our legal team, I specifically went to a company called Squire Patton Boggs, 5th largest law firm in the world, convinced them to take us on as a client, which brought in 4 former SEC prosecutors and Gregory, who was with the Federal Reserve. Because we're going after corporate, we had to play a corporate game. And so what we've done is we've done a $35 million, we're in the process of a $35 million round. We did a private round at $1 million, friends and family, just to get things off. So right now we're doing $4 million at 25 cents. We're doing it as a SaaS, so we're doing an actual security, but we classically fit as a utilitarian token. The reason is the MonetaPro token, it's separate. It's called a MON for money. So our token is MON, money, MonetaPro. The token at 25, 50, or 75 cents converts into the system at the value of $1 for purchasing power. So we have a very clear utilitarian function, but we're still operating as a security type investment with the corporations we brought in. And we're using Kamsa on our token creation as opposed to Ethereum. The benefit with Kamsa is it immediately gets us listed into the Japanese exchange platforms. And the Japanese actually have a word called kokan, which stands for trading among wholly owned subsidiaries. So we're going to be immediately listed through the Kamsa platform, and then again, the MON converts into the G-Bucks. So that's MonetaPro. MonetaPro.io is the site. If you have questions, I'd love to answer them, but thank you for your time.